Hi, I'm Carla Butorac, and today I want to teach you my version of Carol Gray's comic strip cartoons, and it's called full circle cartooning. This is a strategy or technique that I use with my students with autism who do not have social understanding of a situation that is going on. So, let me give you an example of a young guy that I worked with who had autism spectrum disorders. He was in a middle school classroom, middle school situation, and whenever he got angry, he had what we call violent scripts. So much so, when he got angry, he would say things like, I'm going to bring a high-powered rifle to school, I'm going to cut the phone lines, I'm going to call the FBI, the CIA, and I'm going up to the second story of this building and shoot everyone. So obviously it was very disturbing to everyone, and it was my job to come up with a way to give him some understanding to get him to change his behavior. So this is what I did. The first thing I did was to come up with a description of what it was he was doing. When you actually do this with a student, you don't need to write the word description. You just need to know that this is what you're doing. Also, I'm not a very good artist, so I just do stick figures. But make sure that when you do your stick figures or whatever you're drawing, that you label everything, and this is a procedure that you will do in front of the student, not ahead of time. You're going to do it with them sitting right there. So we'll call this guy Adam. And this is what he was doing. He was talking about bringing guns to school, calling the FBI, the CIA, and cutting the phone lines. So I'm writing down exactly what it was he was doing. Because people with autism do not have what we call theory of mind, we have to help them get that. Theory of mind means that they don't know what other people are thinking, which is why they don't change their behaviors. So this is a technique or a tool that you can use to get them to understand what it is that other people are thinking. So after you do the description, then you want to do a perspective on what other people are thinking. We're going to use some thought bubbles, and it will go like this. Here's the perspective. And I'm going to draw a picture of Ben, which is Adam's friend. Adam loves going over to Ben's house to play video games, so this perspective has meaning to Ben. Ben is thinking in his thought bubbles, I'm afraid of Adam. So for the first time, Adam is getting an idea that, oh my gosh, Ben, my best friend, is afraid of me. Now I got a perspective from Ben's mom. Ben told his mom what Adam's saying at school, so Ben's mom is thinking, I don't want Adam over at my house. He can't come over and play video games, which again is going to have some impact on Adam. He doesn't realize that that's what people are thinking. All he knows is that he's just angry. Now I'm going to draw a picture of the classroom teacher, Mrs. Clark. And Mrs. Clark is thinking, this child is scaring me, I'm going to tell the principal. Okay, so again, that gives Adam some perspective. And then I'm going to draw one more person in this particular scenario because it's going to be very important to how Adam perceives what's going on. And this is going to be the principal, Mr. Hall. Mr. Hall's not happy, as you can see, and he's thinking, this scares me, I'm calling the police. Okay, so once you've got a description and a perspective, Then we're going to move on to what we call the directive. So now we're at the directive piece. And this is just here to tell you what it is that you need to do. We need to tell Adam what we expect him to do. We expect him to change his behavior, but how are we going to have him do that if he doesn't fully understand where and when and why and how he's supposed to do it? So I'm going to give him a couple of lists, a couple of visuals, so he can understand who he can speak violently with and who he cannot. We're not going to ask Adam to go cold turkey with his behaviors because we're probably expecting too much at this point if we do. So we're going to give him an opportunity to talk to the assistant principal and the school counselor. Anytime he feels angry, he's allowed to go to them and speak his violent scripts. We're saying right now, that's okay. What's not okay is all the other places in the school for him to speak violently. So we're going to make a list of the places that he cannot speak violently, which would be the classroom, the hallways, the lunchroom, etc. So now he has a visual list of where it's okay to speak his violent scripts and where it's not. At this point, I'm going to give him one more visual. And because when he's angry, he just wants to speak about violence, we're going to give him some options of what's appropriate to say at school and what's not. So what's okay to say at school are things like music, videos, sports, activities at school, family things, etc. What's not okay to talk about at school are guns and FBI and CIA and cutting the phone lines. All the things that we've heard this child talk about, those are not okay in terms of the violent scripts that he's using. So now he has a visual of who he can talk to and what he can say and when and where he can say it. Now we're to the new perspective. Because Adam has now changed his behavior, all those people in his life have a new attitude, a new thought process based on that new behavior. So let's see what Ben's thinking. Notice that there's a smile on Ben's face, and his thought bubble now says, I want Adam to come over and play video games. We also want to have a thought bubble for Ben's mom. She has a smile on her face, and she's now thinking, I like it when Adam comes over. We also have Mrs. Clark and Mr. Hall and their thought bubbles. Mrs. Clark is now thinking, I enjoy Adam in class. He's a great kid. And last but not least, Mr. Hall is thinking, Adam is a great kid. I love him having at this school. So that's the new perspective based on the new behavior from Adam. The very last thing that we're going to talk about finally then, to bring this full circle, is the outcome. Okay, here we got the outcome. The outcome is always something that we know the child wants or would enjoy or wants to see happen. So here we have Adam with a big smile on his face and my version of a video remote in his hand. And his best friend Ben with a smile on his face with a video remote in his hand, and they're playing the video games that Adam loves. This way, Adam now has a full understanding of what's expected of him, what he should do and he shouldn't do, and what other people are thinking with his behavior, how he can change his behavior and get really the outcome that he wants. This is full circle cartooning. I hope you enjoy it. Use it. It's a fantastic tool for your kids with autism spectrum disorders.